Well, hello there, Mrs. Markey here. We are going to do our assignment for this week. This is week 2 at LLA Art for high school art. So in class, we talked about our pencils. You each received your pencils, and we went through and did all of the swatches. We did just got the values. And so we were able to see what these pencils, what kind of color they produce. And so we practiced some different hand holds, we practiced different circles, we practiced different things. So, and we also did our lovely little sphere here. Turned our circle into a sphere. We went from 2-dimensional to 3-dimensional. All right, so this week your assignment is to draw something white on a light colored surface with good shadows. So you have to find an object that is white, cast a shadow on it with a light, and draw what you see. I'm going to draw from a picture because it's going to be really hard to make that all happen with the angle that I have you at. So I'm going to draw this picture right here. I did it before, but I will do it again. So I'm going to pick out, here's how we're going to do it. I'm going to use this, I think I gave you each one of these for reference, so you can kind of read the shadows a little bit. You can kind of match them up and see where they're at. My darkest shadow is going to be right here. It's kind of a lost edge, so that's going to be almost as dark as the shadow on the table, the cast shadow. Then you're going to have all your range in there. So we're going to kind of go from there. I'm going to pick 3 pencils. I like HB to sketch with. I like somewhere in the middle, like a 3B or a 2B. And then I also like a dark, so I'm going to take my 6B because the blacks in here aren't. Well, they are, but there's not a whole lot of it. So I also want a blending stump, and I want my erasers, either my kneaded eraser or my white eraser, or both. Either's fine, any of it's fine. And a clean sheet of paper. So remember, we're only going to draw on one side of the paper. So I'm going to flip this, and we are not going to draw on this side. We're going to draw on the correct side. Okay, and I want my paper like that. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my HB pencil, and I am going to sketch in where everything is going to be. So I have a horizon line here. So I'm going to put that in just to show where the base of my table is. Make sure you're in frame. Hopefully you can see my pencil. I'm going to draw light, so because that's something that takes practice. Drawing light, having a very light touch is important because it helps you, if you make a mistake, you can erase it. If you draw too hard and scar the paper, that's there forever. So it's really hard to erase once you scar the paper. So draw light, hold kind of midway. If you hold like this, you're gonna have a better chance of pressing too hard, scarring the paper. So if you hold it kind of a little ways out, you have a better chance of drawing lightly. So I'm going to try and match the bottom curve of my cup. Okay. I don't really have an oval because I'm looking directly at the side, so I kind of want to match the oval. Actually, that one looks I'm not matching it because I'm not looking up. This is pretty flat. This has a slight curve to it. Then I have a slight curve to my cup. Has more of a curve here than I put in. There we go. I think I'm happier with that. And see how easily that erases? Because I drew very, very lightly. And you're going to erase this implied line, or at least we're going to make it implied because we're going to take it away. When you swipe off, maybe blow. Graphite definitely smears. All right. So I have my basic shape of my cup. I'm going to put the handle on. All right, so just comes down here. Probably made the handle a little too big, or I made my cup too small. Maybe I set it down too far. No, obviously I don't expect perfection. We are just learning how to draw, aren't we? So, I'm gonna get in here and erase some of this. Let's see what kind of shapes we've got. We're just learning how to read shapes, get the right angles. Yeah, I think my cup's a little small. That's all right. Keep moving that up. I think I liked my squattier cup. All right. I am going to start with some darker shadows because that really kind of anchors everything. So my dark shadow just kind of creeps up the cup a little bit, and there's just this little cast shadow here of darkness. See, it looks like my light source is coming from here. So it's kind of, it's pretty high because there's not a whole lot of shadow. Oh, my light source, we're gonna say, is right here. And I'm gonna write my pencils down. HB 3B and 6B. I quite honestly don't use the H's very often, but you may find you love them. I just don't use them a whole lot. All right, then the rest of the shadow, it's just kind of a long, very soft. So again, I'm not putting very much pressure on. And actually there's really no shadow right there, so it's a very low light because it's cut that off. Make sure we're still recording. Yep. All right, so I'm gonna take my blending stump and I'm gonna just soften this a little bit. further out the shadow goes, the softer it gets. All right, so also another dark spot is, I'm going to bring in my papers because I don't want to get graphite all over my hand. This is also a very dark spot. And this isn't as dark, but it's a little dark. I might exaggerate the darkness just a tad bit. Now, I have no problem with you using the same picture that I do, but as you get more confident, I would like you to choose some of your own pictures for the job, for the assignments. But starting out, it's definitely okay to use the same pictures that I am. Okay, so I'm going to start shaping my mug, my cup. You can see I have a lot of pigment on my blending stump. So I'm going to drag that around just a little bit. Then I'm going to take my H pencil and I'm going to kind of shade this up here because it's a little bit darker. This is my HB. So it's kind of a equal blend of hard and soft. You can see kind of the reflected light right here, kind of where that, a little lower than the implied line. I have some brightness on the side. And another dark spot is right on the outside of that. So I'm going to take my blending stump, I'm going to soften that. I like to do little circles with my stump instead of just swoopy lines. It happens, but the little circles kind of, it's kind of like coloring with a crayon, you know, the little circles make it a little, give you better coverage. I do want to kind of soften all of my lines. It's the wall that's colored, not the table. You can hear the scratchiness on my, with the HB pencil. And I don't need to cover every square inch of this because I will take my blending stump and that will kind of push that graphite around. I think I'll get out my bigger blending stump for that. Maybe I'll go my medium one. I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap there because you can see it's kind of highlighted right along there. It must be the lip of the mug. Okay. I think I'm going to exaggerate this shadow just a little bit more, just to differentiate between the back of the cup, and I am going to put this line in here a little bit more. This side's almost all white, so we don't have to worry about that. If you need to clean off your stump, you can take a Kleenex, you can just rub it on another piece of paper. So I'm just going to darken this a bit. There are reflections in the glass that I could really go in and put in. There's a reflected line of the handle. And then I'm going to soften this. Actually, that would like almost disappear if we were trying to be realistic here. All right, and I'm going to kind of there must be a light from the other side too, because there's just a slight hint of a shadow here. I don't like that reflected shadow, so we're going to see if I can just kind of take that out. All right, so a little bit here. It's like a highlight right there, right at the top. So your whole goal is to just read shadows. We're reading shadows today. We're trying to copy those exact shadows. We want the shapes of the shadows to look right. We don't want smudgy paper, so if you find you're smudging, take your eraser and quick clean it up. If you have like hand smudges right here because you accidentally laid your hand in it, and try and fix that. Try and make sure that you're not turning in smudgy work. I'm gonna go back and, like I said, pencil is also made to be layered, so it may take a few layers to get that dark exactly how you want it. And that's all right. Plus, if you do little circles, it kind of makes the roundness of the cup a little more believable than if you were to do just straight lines. And that's the whole point of this, is we're trying to make it a believable shape. And our eye knows, even if we don't exactly know what the cup looks like, we know what a round mug looks like. So there's not a whole lot much more that I need to do here. You can see there's kind of a little bit of a reflection there, but again, you don't have to put the reflections in. That's going to get a little more advanced. If we start putting these in, oops, that got really dark. All right, well, I think that is probably pretty good. I think that's enough for you to work with. I hope you guys find this project easy enough, and enjoyable. White object on a light colored surface with a light shining on it. so you can really pick up those shadows. So I can't wait to see what you turn in, and I will see you on Monday. Make sure you turn in your work on the counter outside where you check in, where you fill out your clipboard. So I will see you all on Monday, and I hope you have a great week. Bye.